Hello, this is Brian here, and today I'm going to talk about why I might sometimes describe myself as a cultist. A sheep without a shepherd, maybe, or maybe somebody hanging on to that shepherd too much, but there's that potential to be a cultist at times. And it kind of goes, it's kind of like a struggle between this desire to be free, but also I just can't do it. I'm too weak. I don't know. There's too many gaps, things I can't do myself. I'm dependent. I'm scared. I'm fearful. I'm weak. I don't have enough knowledge or strength or skills. But I do want to be free, and I want to have my own autonomy, I guess you could say, have my own will. And this kind of comes from a Christian background as well. You might still describe me as a Christian, but I have trouble with that as well. I don't know if I am or not. It's a difficult thing. It might seem like the most obvious thing. Oh, you just accept it. You've changed. You're a different person after you become a Christian. But it's probably not that easy, so I'm not going to go along with that. But maybe my actions don't show the thing of a Christian, so I don't know exactly. But there's some things that I like about it, and it's part of my past in a way. But it does really lead to this kind of lingering fear, this survival fear in a way, this natural selection fear, belief in reasons in an indifferent world. I know I'm just kind of speaking buzzwords, maybe they make some sense, but that's kind of why I attach to things, why I develop the beliefs about things, even though they're not always right, in this sometimes seemingly indifferent subjective world that slides into subjectivism, I guess you could call it. So yeah, let's see. So I attach to things at times. Sometimes I have these favorite bands, like my last couple of videos, or I attach to a particular piece of media or culture or systems or art or some kind of expression of art or emotions in a way. Sometimes spiritual systems, sometimes political. But I try to attach to things. I look for identity in it, some similar experiences, and does this fit who I am? Do I have a place in this thing? And also, I'm looking for status. I want to look better in these things, but not too much better, not too much so, because it's easy to go wrong with that as well. But if I'd be lying if I said I wasn't looking to look good or positive, or I'm not necessarily competitive, but I want to look good. I want to do a good job. I want to cooperate. Unless I'm seemingly more cooperative, but maybe I am competitive at times and jealous, and those things do come in me. And that may be one reason I find myself as a Christian at times, where I find that I cry out to God, or I have prayers about certain things, or I say, thank God, but it's not usually in the traditional Christian way, but I find I do it naturally. And I say, I really don't like myself right now. Could you help me? Sometimes I do that in a way. And it's also a way to look for meaning and resonance. But I also like to escape a lot. There's also escapism in this maybe cult thing. And there's thoughts of, what do I do? What are my art skills and value in certain things, and who I am, my identity, what am I good at? Is it mean anything to people? Is it stupid? Is it a waste of time? And sometimes I'm just susceptible to a lot of varieties of things and the various experiences, trying new things out. And sometimes I take drugs a little bit, as you see me drinking some beer. And there's all these feelings and emotions that should be dealt with as well. Sometimes the drugs are a way to get away from that, or seem like my experiences at the time aren't boring or overwhelming. But what am I looking for? Am I actually looking for connections? It's hard to say, but sometimes we can do this with play and fun, or acting like a certain role, kind of lampooning it, or going an extreme version with other people, or just, which is a fun thing to do. I enjoy doing. And it's also good to think about work and productivity for your cult or whatever your thing is. But it's very scary if you're an individual in this group context, and there's always judgments and perceptions of the judgments that may not actually be there. And I feel like I'm a weak and fearful individual a lot of times, but occasionally courage and persistence can prevail in my personality and my actions. And it just helps to perceive the truth and be objective. But that's not always an easy thing. There's always weird things as well that are subjective. And I kind of talked about humor and limitations. You can look at your limitations in humor, or other people's limitations with humor, and not necessarily degrade their character, but just put a little light on it and laugh about it, instead of just focusing on positives or how good somebody is. It's also good to have humor as well. Very underrated, and it helps you get through the day. But it's also just good to practice difficult things without the necessarily approval of others. Not just false affirmations within a cult. But a lot of times it's, I don't know, I guess I don't see myself as having a lot of credentials, so that's why sometimes I call myself a cultist. And I get really connected to certain art and media. And that's kind of why I call myself a cultist in a way, but it's not exactly what I want, but it is kind of what I do. And I hope I do have more individual, objective opinions about things that are also well thought out, and not just blindly going with the cult. But it's easy to say, and it's fun to be a follower of cult bands as well, or cult movies. So I think it's an interesting thing to think about, and even though it's kind of a derogatory thing, it can be a positive thing, and you can maybe look at the humor and limitations of things as well within your cult and have a laugh about it. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope this video was okay, and have a great day.